In unit number 4, now our second topic is characteristics of real-time operating system. Now it has variety of the characteristics. First characteristics is determinism. So any embedded system operating system, for example, it is a VxWorks, rather QNX or Windows Compact Edition or real-time Linux. These are few of the examples of embedded system, or Android. So these embedded system or operating system more specifically, they should have this kind of the characteristics. So first characteristics is determinism, means we can determine that which kind of the operation is going to be performed after some time at t1 time, for example, which kind of the task is going to be loaded at time number 2, t2. So our system should know ahead of the time that these are the pattern of running the tasks. That's why determinism is there. That's why it guarantees the response within the fixed and predictable time. It guarantees that this task is going to be performed at t1 and we are expecting the output from that t1 task, like this. Essential for meeting the deadlines. Why it is essential? Determinism is essential because it is expected that it should follow the deadlines. So this is about the first characteristics. As per second characteristics is it must be consistent in its operations. When our inputs are fixed, then we are expecting the similar kind of the outputs. Though those inputs are fed for the thousands of the time, we are expecting the same kind of the outputs. It is not, the thing is that when your input is same and you are receiving the different outputs, this should not happen. So it means that it is a consistent. So our RTOS should be consistent or provide predictable and repeatable task execution every time. So all the time, if the task is executed for many times, it is predictable, its outputs are predictable. Those should not be vary with reference to the time. So this is treated as an consistency. As per third is concerned, it is a scalability. Scalability means if expected tasks are limited, means less load is there, or expected tasks are huge one, means more load is there. So our embedded system should not be vulnerable for different scenarios. It must give the same kind of the performance for less load or maximum load. So this is treated as a scalable, that one task is running or 10 tasks are running, its performance never goes faded. This is expected in the scalability. So though it is a small or though it is a large system, depending on the application, its performance should not vary. So we can add more tasks or devices without major changes. It is expected that our operating system should be scalable in such a way that you can add more tasks or you can add more hardware devices into your embedded systems operating system. So this is about scalability. Next is multitasking. So as per multitasking, scheduling and inter-task communication is concerned, we can take the example. For example, our embedded system is having task number 1, it is having task number 2, and this is task number 3. So all these three tasks is going to be handled by the scheduler. So scheduler is a program which is loading the task. It is executing the instructions within the task and then it unload the task. So these are the three tasks, for example, and scheduler is scheduling with reference to the priority. So the priority is, highest priority is there for this task, and lowest priority is there for this task, and medium priority is there for this task, second task. So if this task is requesting, then it is loaded into the scheduler. Scheduler execute this task completely, and then it finishes its work. Meanwhile, if this task is requesting, then it loads it into the memory, it executes all the instructions within this task, and then it again unload this task 2. Now, if this task is requesting and this task is requesting simultaneously, if both the tasks are requesting, at that time scheduler think that which task is having highest priority. So task 1 is having highest priority than task number 3, means scheduler gives priority to the task 1, it again load task 1, it execute the instructions of the task 1, unload it. For that time it keep this task 3 in a waiting state, and after completion of the task 1 it loads task 3 and it starts executing its instruction, it complete those instruction and unload the task 3. So this is the general process as per scheduler is concerned. So multitasking means whatever I have explained about the task 1, task 2 and task 3. So it is expected that our operating system should follow the multitasking, means many tasks can load, many tasks can execute their instructions by the central processing unit, they get loaded, they get unloaded. So this is treated as a multiple task. Each task is given the CPU's time. For example, task 1 is having huge number of the instructions, then that kind of the time slot is going to be allotted for that particular task. If task 3 is having very less time to execute, then very small time slice is going to be allotted for that task 3. This is the meaning. Scheduling, I have already explained about the scheduling. Priority based. So there are many algorithms in scheduling, like round robin is there, round robin with the priority is there, shortest job first algorithm is there, first in, first come, first serve. These are few algorithms, those can be executed by the scheduler. Now as per inter-task communication is concerned, you can see that as per this is a task number 1, and this is task number 2, and this is a memory. For example, if task number 1 saves temperature into this memory and task 2 is reading the contents from this memory. So after 1 second, for example, if this task is saving the temperature into the memory, means it can save it into this particular resource and it is going to be read. So you can say that there is a communication between the task 1 and the task 2, means this is the inter-process communication between the task 1 and task 2. They are synchronously perform one particular task this way. So this is inter-task communication. So there are variety of the objects like semaphore, mutex, message queue. These are few of the objects through which we can communicate with different tasks, or different tasks communicate with each other. Semaphore, queue, mailboxes, these are few objects through which tasks can communicate with each other. Now next characteristics is minimal interrupt latency, means RTOS responds quickly. Minimal interrupt latency means they should respond very quickly, very fastly. This is the meaning. Ensures urgent events are handled immediately, means the events those need the attention, they should be serviced with very fast time, very less time. Resource management. Now efficiently we can manage the resource of central processing unit, memory. These are the resources, input output devices. So input output ranges, memory, then central processing unit. These are the resources, and these resources utilized by our variety of the tasks. So our task can utilize the resources very efficiently by the operating system. So it is one of the characteristics of the operating system. Then reliability and safety means any operating system should be very reliable, because they run for 24 hours, 7 days in a week, 360 days in 1 year. It is expected. That's why those should not be crashed within specific time. They are very critical in the system. Provides predictable output even under the heavy load. Predictable output should be expected, though they are having huge amount of the tasks or heavy load is there. So as per this session is concerned, it is comprised of the characteristics of the real-time operating system. There are only 9 characteristics of the real-time operating system. In the next session, we are going to see the functions of real-time operating system.